I wanted to do an unboxing video on this Ryobi 2900 PSI pressure washer that I just bought. For those of you who may be interested in a gas pressure washer, I actually own an electric pressure washer already. One of the biggest drawbacks of the electric pressure washer is they usually have a very low flow. Ryobi does make several different models of gas pressure washers, and the reason that I chose this particular model is because it has a horizontal shaft engine, and these engines are Honda clones, and I've actually had these engines on other products before, including a go-kart that my oldest son had, and the engine was very reliable and parts were readily available. I'm not sure how the parts availability are on the vertical shaft engines, but I know that they're available for these horizontal shafts. I'm not a big fan of the axial camshaft pumps that these lower level pressure washers use, but at least they're fairly cheap to replace at usually around $100. I really struggled on whether I wanted to spend more on a higher model pressure washer with maybe a cat pump or at least maybe an AR brand pump. But for the amount that I'm going to use it, I really couldn't justify the extra expense. This pressure washer was $297 at Home Depot. So the price, along with the fact that it was a horizontal shaft engine, was the reason that I bought it. And also I would recommend that if you are going to be getting a pressure washer, try to find non-ethanol fuel. Even though these engines will run ethanol fuel, the moisture in the fuel does cause problems. So I only run non-ethanol fuel in all the small engines that I have. Now, a big reason why I went ahead and got the gas pressure washer right now is because I'm having an issue with my sewage line. The line is about 100 feet long and there's not much of a grade on it. So I need to be able to jet that line out. I do have a jetter hose and some jetter fittings coming from Amazon that I'm going to use to jet the sewage line. So I may make a video on that, I'm not sure yet. But let's go ahead and look at the specs on this pressure washer. It's got a 212cc horizontal engine. It's got almost a 1 gallon fuel tank. Comes with 4 quick connect nozzles, 25 feet of hose, 12-inch flat-free wheels, durable hand truck design, and onboard accessory storage. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. They do provide oil for the pressure washer. I'm using an 18-inch long neck funnel to put the oil in because it's just easier than having to take the wheel back off. It says to close the fuel valve before adding any lubricant. Specifically, it said to use all the oil that they supplied except for 2 ounces. So we're just going to have to kind of eyeball it. All right, I think we got the oil level just about right. They did supply some tubing for a downstream chemical injector. I'm not really a big fan of using these. I generally prefer to pre-spray whatever I'm cleaning and give it some dwell time and then just use the pressure washer to rinse it off with. And this unit does not have adjustable pressure, so you're pretty much stuck with the 2900 PSI. Using the different tips that come with the pressure washer can somewhat help compensate for not having adjustable pressure. Now finally, we'll fill it up with gas.
That's shot out.
But as you can see, my helper decided to pour gas on the pressure washer rather than in it.
Shut up.
He decided those pesky nozzles were just too much to deal with, so he's doing it the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna give this a few minutes to dry out. All right, the fuel has dried out now, and I've got the water hose hooked up. And I also added an extension hose on here. I bought another 25 feet of pressure hose to go to the wand. I've got the green tip installed right now. I think that's a 25-degree tip, so we're gonna try this thing out. Yeah, I can see a big difference between here and here. And now I'll go ahead and turn it off. I wanted to run all the fuel out of the carburetor, which is why I shut the fuel supply off and just went ahead and let it run out. Even though I have non-ethanol gas in here, I still think it's better to go ahead and let the fuel run out so the gas doesn't sit in the carburetor and cause varnish or anything like that in there. So I just wanted to show this thing in operation, some of the different tips that it has, and so far it looks like it's going to serve the purposes that I bought it for, which is both pressure washing around the house and to use as a sewer jetter. And as I said earlier, I may show a separate video on that. I'm not really sure yet. I'm still waiting on my hoses and fittings to come in. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.